We live on a restless planet, a world in constant motion and transformation, shaped by forces both seen and unseen. From space, Earth appears as a fragile, pale blue dot, suspended in the vast darkness, its delicate balance sustaining all life. For generations, the seasons followed a familiar, predictable rhythm: spring's renewal, summer's warmth, autumn's harvest, and winter's chill. But now that rhythm is shifting. The patterns we once relied on are unraveling before our eyes. Global warming isn't just about hotter summers, it's making our winters more extreme, unpredictable, and sometimes even longer or colder than before. It's a paradox that leaves many people puzzled. How can a warming world deliver colder, harsher winters in some places? The answer lies in the way our planet's climate system works. Adding energy to Earth's climate doesn't just heat things up, it creates chaos, disrupting the balance we once knew. Our climate is like a giant, intricate engine. For centuries it ran smoothly, powered by the sun and regulated by natural cycles. But now, greenhouse gases are throwing it off balance, changing the rules. The extra energy from these gases gets trapped in our atmosphere, absorbed by oceans, and melts ancient ice that has existed for millennia. This energy also changes how air moves around the globe, shifting wind patterns and altering the powerful jet stream that shapes our weather. When the jet stream weakens or wobbles, it can send frigid Arctic air plunging south, setting the stage for winter extremes that seem to contradict the idea of a warming planet. More energy in the system means more moisture in the air, fueling more powerful storms, heavier snowfall, and sudden dramatic weather shifts. The stable seasonal patterns we once counted on are breaking down, replaced by abrupt changes and unexpected extremes. We're entering an era of climatic extremes where understanding why a warmer world can produce a colder winter is more important than ever. So, let's move beyond the idea that global warming only means hotter days. It's about a planet with more energy, fueling volatility, unpredictability, and surprises in every season. Think of it as a world where the weather is supercharged, with storms and cold snaps that can arrive suddenly and with greater intensity. The evidence is all around us, written in snowstorms, bone-chilling cold, and the headlines of record-breaking weather events. Our survival depends on understanding and adapting to this new unpredictable world, one where the only certainty is change. Our planet's oceans are the climate's battery, storing and releasing energy on a scale that dwarfs anything humans can imagine. They are the silent giants, quietly absorbing the impacts of our changing world, and their influence stretches far beyond the shorelines. In fact, the oceans absorb over 90% of the extra heat we generate through greenhouse gas emissions. This vast reservoir of warmth is hidden beneath the waves, but its effects ripple through the atmosphere, shaping weather patterns across the globe. Warmer oceans mean more evaporation. Imagine the Pacific as a giant pot of steaming water, its surface constantly sending invisible plumes of moisture skyward. Even in the dead of winter, this process never stops, fueling the atmosphere with water vapor. For every degree Celsius the air warms, it can hold about 7% more water vapor. That means the atmosphere above a warming ocean is like a sponge that keeps getting bigger, soaking up more and more moisture with every passing year. This supercharged air becomes the raw fuel for storms, providing the energy and moisture needed to build massive, swirling systems that can unleash incredible power. Now, storms have access to a much larger reservoir of moisture, resulting in heavier, wetter snow and more intense blizzards. The snow that falls is denser, the winds are stronger, and the storms last longer than ever before. Think of it like a campfire. In the past you had a little kindling, just enough to get a small blaze going. The storms were fierce, but their fuel was limited. Now, you have a truckload of firewood. The supply is nearly endless and the fire can burn hotter, longer, and with far more intensity than before. The result? Bomb cyclones and snowmageddons that dwarf the storms of previous generations. These are not just bigger storms, they are fundamentally different, fueled by a new kind of energy. This isn't just a coastal issue. The reach of these supercharged storms extends far inland, affecting communities that once felt safe from the ocean's influence. Moisture from the oceans can travel thousands of miles carried by powerful winds and atmospheric rivers, dumping record snow far inland, sometimes in places unaccustomed to such extremes. The journey of that snow began as heat absorbed by the ocean, transformed into vapor, and carried on the winds. It's a global relay with the oceans handing off their energy to the sky and the sky delivering it as snow. So when you see a historic blizzard, remember, it started with a warming sea. The story of every snowflake is written in the heat of the ocean. Our new winter storms are fueled by the heat we've added to the planet. The fingerprints of human activity are all over these extreme events, from the emissions we release to the warmth trapped in the seas. The oceans are breathing moisture into the atmosphere and the winds are carrying it across continents, reshaping winters everywhere. This is the new reality of winter in a warming world, a season transformed by the hidden power of the oceans, and a future shaped by the choices we make today. High above us, the jet stream, a powerful river of wind, once kept Arctic cold locked away. Its strength depends on the temperature difference between the frigid North Pole and the warmer mid-latitudes. But the Arctic is warming twice as fast as the rest of the planet, weakening this barrier. The jet stream now wobbles, dipping south and dragging Arctic air with it. These deep dips unleash record-shattering cold snaps in places unprepared for such extremes. Because the jet stream is slower and wavier, these cold spells can linger for days or weeks. Meanwhile, other regions experience unseasonable warmth. This is the signature of a wobbly, unpredictable jet stream, a broken gate letting Arctic cold roam free. The stable patterns we depended on are breaking down. Our winters are now shaped by a river of wind that's lost its way. Near the Great Lakes, lake-effect snow is a dramatic example of local weather gone wild. When frigid Arctic air passes over warmer lake water, it picks up moisture, rises, cools, and dumps snow, sometimes feet at a time, on downwind communities. Climate change means the lakes freeze later, or not at all, keeping the snow machine running longer. Warmer lake water means more evaporation and heavier snowbands. The result, supercharged lake effect events, with snow falling at astonishing rates. The very warming that reduces ice paradoxically creates more extreme snow. Local features, amplified by global change, are rewriting winter's rules. The snowiest places are getting even snowier, thanks to a warming world. How can a warming planet still produce brutal cold snaps? It's the difference between climate and weather. The Arctic's rapid warming weakens the jet stream, letting polar air escape south. Sudden stratospheric warming events disrupt the polar vortex, spilling frigid air into the mid-latitudes. A stable polar vortex keeps the cold contained. A disrupted one lets it spill out, bringing Siberian temperatures to cities like Chicago or Paris. The warming isn't uniform. Instability allows for wild swings. A warmer world means more energy, more chaos, and more extreme cold outbreaks. The cold isn't gone, it's just on the move. Our winters are now defined by imbalance and unpredictability. The polar vortex is a massive swirl of frigid air high above the Arctic. When strong, it keeps the cold locked up north. But Arctic amplification, rapid warming, weakens it. Like a spinning skater slowing down, the vortex wobbles and stretches. Sudden stratospheric warming can split the vortex, sending blobs of Arctic air far south. These fragments bring record-setting cold to North America, Europe, and Asia. The polar vortex isn't new, but its instability is. The fence that once kept the cold penned in is now full of holes. Human-driven warming is making it easier for extreme cold to escape. The polar vortex is on the move and we're feeling the consequences. Our winters are now at the mercy of a wandering Arctic chill. Why does Arctic warming matter so much for our winters? The Arctic is an ocean surrounded by continents covered by reflective sea ice. As the ice melts, more dark water absorbs sunlight, creating a feedback loop, warming the Arctic even faster. This is Arctic amplification, and it's destabilizing the jet stream and polar vortex. The Antarctic, a landmass surrounded by ocean, doesn't have this same feedback. What happens in the Arctic directly impacts weather across the northern hemisphere. Melting sea ice thousands of miles away can trigger blizzards and cold snaps in your city. The fate of our winters is tied to the fate of Arctic ice. As the Arctic warms and darkens, weather chaos grows. Our season's stability depends on the health of the polar north. Understanding the science behind winter extremes is one thing. Knowing how to interpret forecasts, track storm systems, and recognize the warning signs of severe weather can help you anticipate what's coming. But living through extreme winters is another challenge entirely. Preparation is not just helpful, it's essential for your safety and peace of mind. Start by building an emergency kit with at least 3 days' worth of food and water for each person in your household. Include non-perishable items and enough supplies to last if you're snowed in. Don't forget a manual can opener, a battery-powered or hand-crank radio, flashlights, extra batteries, a first aid kit, and plenty of warm clothing and blankets. These basics can make a huge difference. Prepare your home by insulating windows, sealing door drafts, and having your heating system serviced before the coldest months arrive. Learn how to prevent frozen pipes, wrap exposed pipes, let faucets drip during deep freezes, and know where your main water shutoff is located. Ready your car by keeping the gas tank at least half full, and pack an emergency kit with blankets, a flashlight, jumper cables, a shovel, and some snacks in case you get stranded. Stay informed. Pay close attention to weather warnings and alerts on TV, radio, or your smartphone. If a major storm is forecast, avoid unnecessary travel and stay indoors whenever possible to reduce your risk. The best way to stay safe is to be prepared, stay put, and keep your loved ones close during dangerous conditions. Extreme winter events are becoming more common and more intense, affecting cities and rural areas alike. Don't be caught off guard. Preparation not only reduces stress, but also gives you confidence to face whatever winter brings. With the right steps, you can keep yourself and your family safe, warm, and comfortable, no matter how fierce the storm. The storms may be stronger and the snow may fall deeper, but with careful planning, a solid checklist, and a calm approach, you can weather them all. In a world where extremes are the new normal, readiness is your best defense. So take action now and face winter with confidence. We are now a geological force, changing the chemistry of our atmosphere and the physics of our climate. A warmer world means more chaos, heat, drought, flood, and cold, all more frequent and intense. The wobbly jet stream, wandering polar vortex, and supercharged storms are symptoms of a world out of balance. Recognizing this is the first step to preparing for the future. The long-term solution is to cut fossil fuels and restore balance to our climate. But we must also adapt, build resilient communities, upgrade infrastructure, and prepare for extremes. Every cold snap and snowstorm is part of a vast, interconnected story. Understanding empowers us to see the bigger picture and take action. Our choices now shape the future of this pale blue dot. In a changing world, knowledge and preparation are our greatest tools.